What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How are you? I hope you're good. Hope you guys had a great day today. Today we will be discussing how well do you know your doctors, your children's doctor, your pediatricians? How well do you know them? Today's topic is exposing the hidden crisis, doctors who betray their patients. So, I will introduce you to a few doctors here, and we will be, well, we'll go over their crime, their punishment, and then we will go over some statistics about it as well. What's up, Jack? How are you today, my friend?
Just so your dad's on the way.
Let me introduce you to today's first parasite. This is Dr. Earl Bradley. Dr. Earl Bradley. What did Dr. Earl Bradley do? Let me tell you. What's up, Universe? So, Dr. Earl Bradley, born May 10th, 1953, is a former pediatrician from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, who was convicted of serial child sexual abuse. He was indicted in 2010 on 471 charges related to the molestation, rape, and exploitation of 103 child patients, some as young as 3 months old. In April 2010, he faced an additional 58 charges involving 24 more victims. Bradley was ultimately found guilty on all consolidated charges and in 2011 was sentenced to 14 consecutive life terms plus 165 years without the possibility of parole. His conviction was upheld by the Delaware Supreme Court in 2012. Bradley graduated from Temple University School of Medicine in 1983 and completed his pediatrics residency at Thomas Jefferson University Hospital in 1986. He initially practiced in Philadelphia before abruptly relocating to Lewes, Delaware in 1995, where he established Bybee's Pediatrics. His practice was notably decorated with child-friendly themes, including carnival rides and Disney characters to appeal young patients. One second, let me catch the chat up here. What's up, Daniel Berry? Thank you for stopping by. What's up, Viprin? How are you, my friend? Three months old, good Lord. Yes, indeed. 3 months old. Beer Gut Garage. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the newest member of the G2K Ninja family. Beer Gut Garage coming in with the membership. Best damn dollar you ever spent. I guarantee you that, my friend. Best damn dollar you ever spent. What's up, Nature Sounds? So let's get back to this parasite, Dr. Earl Bradley here. What's up, Sierra Queen Pin Clark? Well, thank you for popping your head up out the bushes. You look good and green. I appreciate you being here. Just know that. Just know that I do. So, the case. Oh, hang on. Allegations of inappropriate conduct by Bradley date back to as early as 1994 during his tenure at Thomas Jefferson University Hospital. Despite multiple complaints over the years, including reports from nurses and other physicians about unnecessary examinations and videotaping children, Bradley continued to practice until he was arrested in December 2009. Authorities discovered over 13 hours of videotaped evidence documenting his assaults, leading to his indictment. The case had a profound impact on the Delaware community, affecting an entire generation of pediatric patients and prompting significant reforms in the state's medical and legal systems. Organizations like Survivors of Abuse in Recovery, or SOAR, SOAR, have been instrumental in providing therapy and support to Bradley's victims and their families. Bradley is currently incarcerated at the Cheshire Correctional Institution in Cheshire, Connecticut. Let me introduce you to Dr. Oh, hang on. I gotta do all this over again here. Present. Share screen. Let me introduce you to Dr. Richard Kauff, Kauff. This is Dr. Richard Kauff. Dr. Richard Kauff, a retired pediatrician from Norwell, Massachusetts, Dr. Kauff was accused in 2023 of sexually assaulting multiple former patients. The allegations prompted discussions on how to protect children during medical examinations. Let me introduce you to Dr. Johnny Jack Bartow. Let me introduce you to Johnny Jack Bartow. Present. Share screen.
Quit it.
This is Dr. Johnny Jack Bartow. And he is from Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Dr. Bartow was charged in 2028 with sexually abusing numerous child patients over several decades. The case highlighted systemic failures in reporting and addressing abuse within medical settings. Dr. Tom Sun Yap, an Australian pediatrician from the Sunshine Coast, Dr. Yap was jailed for possessing over 2,000 child exploitation files. Arrested while working at the Sunshine Coast University Hospital, he pleaded guilty to multiple charges and served 4 months of a 6-month sentence before being released. What? Do I need to repeat that? Dr. Tom Sun Yap, an Australian pediatrician from the Sunshine Coast, Dr. Yap was jailed for possessing over 2,000 child exploitation files. Arrested while working at the Sunshine Coast University Hospital, he pleaded guilty to multiple charges and served 4 months of a 6-month sentence before being released. Consequently, he was disqualified from reapplying for medical registration for 8 years. So, he can become a doctor again. Crazy. Let's talk about Dr. Joël Lacharonce. A French surgeon, Dr. Lacharonce was accused of raping or sexually abusing 299 victims, primarily child patients, over 30 years. His trial, which began recently, is considered one of the largest child sex abuse cases in France's history. You can find that story on AP News. These cases underscore the critical importance. Get rid of this guy, and this guy, and this guy. And now back to me. This case underscores the critical importance of vigilance and robust safeguarding measures within healthcare settings to protect vulnerable patients. The American Academy of Pediatrics has published guidelines on protecting children from sexual abuse by healthcare providers, emphasizing the need for clear policies and prompt responses to any concerns.
Jesse.
You're fine. Let's go back to Dr. Richard Koff here. The retired pediatrician from Norwell, Massachusetts, was arrested in July 2024 on 20 counts of sexual assault. These charges include 11 counts of child rape and 9 counts of assault and battery on a child under 14, involving 15 former patients over a 23-year period. Koff, who practiced in South Shore Medical Center from 1983 until his retirement in 2022, has pleaded not guilty to all charges. In December 2024, 5 additional women filed lawsuits against Koff and Southern Shores Medical Center, alleging sexual abuse during their childhood medical visits. Remember Dr. Jack Bartow? Dr. Johnny Bartow, a pediatrician from Johnstown, Pennsylvania, was convicted in 2019 of sexually abusing 31 children over several decades. He was sentenced to 79 to 158 years in prison. Bartow's abuse typically involved children between the ages of 8 and 12, with some victims as young as infants. Despite prior allegations and a 2000 acquittal by the State Board of Medicine, Bartow continued to practice until his arrest in 2018. In May 2019, 5 former patients filed the first lawsuit against him and the healthcare providers that employed him, highlighting his systemic failure to act on previous allegations. Let's dive a little bit more into Dr. Tom Sun Yap, the pediatrician from the Sunshine Coast in Australia, arrested in May 2022 while working at Sunshine Coast University Hospital, pleaded guilty to 6 charges related to accessing and possessing child exploitation material, including over 2,000 child abuse images. In July 2023, Yap was sentenced to 6 months in jail, serving 4 months before being released. In November 2024, the Queensland Civil and Administrative Tribunal disqualified him from reapplying for medical registration for 8 years. Yap has since indicated plans to pursue a non-medical career. What's up, Austin? Thanks for stopping by. Looking good and green. I love seeing all the green in here, everybody. Yep. Yeah, it's kind of shocking, ain't it there, Queen Pin? Pretty damn shocking. Austin Theris, yeah, look, it's disgusting, ain't it? Queen Pin agrees. Yep. It's horrific. Remember Jolie Sarange, a former surgeon from France, was convicted in 2020 and sentenced to 15 years in prison for sexually abusing 4 victims. In February 2025, during a subsequent trial, La Sarange admitted to sexually abusing his 12-year-old granddaughter. He is accused of raping or sexually abusing 299 victims, primarily child patients, between 1989 and 2017. The current trial is considered one of France's largest child sexual abuse cases. These cases underscore the critical importance of vigilance and robust safeguarding measures within healthcare settings to protect vulnerable patients. Yep, you're right, Beer Gut Garage. You're absolutely right. There are these kind of pieces of shit all over the world. Yes, yes, absolutely correct. Sexual misconduct in physicians is a significant concern within the medical community. While comprehensive statistics are limited, several studies and reports provide insight into the prevalence and consequences of such behavior. Prevalence of sexual misconduct reports. A study analyzing data from the National Practitioners Data Bank, the NPDB, identified 1,721 reports of physician sexual misconduct submitted between 2000 and 2019, averaging approximately 10.8 reports per 100,000 U.S. physicians licensees annually. You can find that in the hospital community. Total accusations over time. An investigation by the Atlanta Journal Constitution reviewed public records from every state, identifying more than 3,100 doctors accused of sexual misconduct, with over 2,400 cases involving patients spanning from 1999 to 2015. You can find that in the doctors and sex abuse section of the hospital community, I guess is what it says. Specialties Specialties with reported misconduct. According to data compiled by Statista between January 2003 and December 2017, certain medical specialties had higher numbers of sexual misconduct reports. For example, obstetricians and gynecological reported 253 cases. Psychiatry had 230 cases, and family medicine recorded 220 cases. That's according to Statista. Regarding legal outcomes, the specific statistics on the number of physicians sentenced to prison for sexual misconduct are not comprehensively documented. However, notable cases highlighted that when prosecuted, physicians can face significant prison sentences. For instance, former obstetrician and gynecological Robert Haddon was sentenced to 20 years in prison for sexually abusing patients. The hospitalist community, the Department of Justice. It's important to note that these figures may not capture the full extent of the issue, as underreporting and variations in data collection methods can affect the accuracy of available statistics. Absolutely, Queen Pin. Someone's got to do it, you know what I mean? So, for those of you that are just showing up and those that are just catching in, today we're talking about a deeply disturbing issue, one that doesn't get nearly enough attention but needs to be front and center in the fight to protect our children. We trust doctors to care for us, to heal us, and most importantly, to keep our children safe. But what happens when that trust is shattered? There have been far too many cases of pediatricians and other medical professionals using their positions of power to sexually abuse children. These are crimes that often go unnoticed for years, sometimes even decades, because systemic failures and a culture that protects the predators rather than the victims. We're doing a deep dive into this issue, and we're talking about some of the most shocking cases of doctors convicted of child sexual abuse, the systemic failures that allow them to continue practicing, and most importantly, what you, as a parent or guardian, can do to protect your children. Talked about Dr. Earl Bradley. He's doing 14 consecutive life sentences plus 156 years for sexually abusing over 100 children. Um, Jack Bardo, 31 patients. He got 158 years. Richard Koff, 20 counts of child sexual abuse, 15 confirmed victims.
Deadly timer.
This is an ongoing case. This case is still being seen, so he's still fighting it. Then you can't forget Dr. Joel La Charonche from France, a 299 child victims over 3 decades, including his own granddaughter. He got 15 years in prison, though, so that's good. What a joke. How many doctors are actually doing this? You might be wondering just how big is this problem. Unfortunately, we don't have the exact number because many cases go unreported, or ignored by medical boards. However, some statistics give us an idea. A study found that over 1,700 reports of physician sexual misconduct were filed between 2000 and 2019 in the U.S. alone. In 1999 to 2015, over 3,100 doctors were accused of sexual misconduct, with at least 2,400 of those cases involving patients. Some specialties have higher rates of reported abuse, including pediatrics, obstetricians, gynecology, and psychiatry. Many doctors accused of abuse never face criminal charges. Instead, they quietly lose their medical license and move elsewhere to continue practicing. How to protect your child at the doctor's office. Now that we know how serious this problem is, let's talk about what you can do to protect your child. Here are some crucial steps. Number 1, and most important of all, never let your child be alone with a doctor. If a doctor insists on examining your child alone, that's a major red flag. Always stay in the room during checkups, no matter how much you trust the doctor. 2, teach your child body anatomy. Make sure your child knows that their body belongs to them and that no one, not even a doctor, is allowed to touch them inappropriately. Teach them the correct names for their body parts and that they can say no if something feels wrong. Yep, 15 years, that's it, Jack. That's all he got. That's all he got. Yep. um 3. Watch for red flags in the doctor's behavior. Does the doctor seem overly friendly or too physical with your child? Do they perform examinations that seem unnecessary? Do they dismiss your concerns or act defensively when questioned? Do your research before choosing a doctor. You guys will do background checks on your fucking neighbors, but you won't do a background check on your doctor? Might be a good idea. I'm just saying. Just a suggestion from G2K. Just a suggestion. Check the state medical board's website for any disciplinary actions against the doctor. Look up online reviews and see if anyone has raised concerns. Ask around. Word of mouth can reveal a lot. Report anything suspicious immediately. If you suspect something inappropriate, report it to law enforcement right away.
Hello?
Do not rely on hospitals or medical boards to take action. They often protect the doctor, not the patient. Final thoughts. This is a difficult subject,
He's just doing his
But we-
awareness Monday.
but we cannot afford to look away.
Yeah.
Predators exist in every profession, even in the medical field. They thrive in environments where people trust them blindly.
I'll just go live. because
And
he's
that's
done talking
and
about
that's
it.
why they're able to get away with their crimes for so long.
Yeah.
The key to stopping this is awareness,
Okay.
vigilance, and action.
Okay.
If you are a parent, never assuming that your child is safe just because a doctor has a degree or a good reputation. Ask questions, stay informed, and most importantly, listen to your child. If you found this information helpful, please share it. The more parents who know about this, the better we can protect our children. And if you have any personal experiences or additional information, drop a comment in the section below and let's keep this conversation going. Stay strong, stay informed, and remember, protect the innocent, stand tough on pedophilia. Stop. Thanks, everybody. I am out of here. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed. Well, not enjoyed, but you get my drift. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.